Hey, it's Allison from Computers.mom, and today I'm going to show you the rest of our top 8 tips for getting to websites quickly and safely. If you haven't seen the first video with tips 1 to 4, you can use the link above to get there. This will all probably make more sense if you watch them in order. So let's get started. Tip 5. Use the suggestions. Let's say you're going to a website for the first time. As you saw in the previous video, you can go directly to a website by typing its URL, that is its web address, here in the address bar of your browser. You might already know the address of the site, or in many cases, you can make an educated guess. Bloomingdale's, for example, is a for-profit business, so it's bloomingdales.com. The State Department is state.gov, and Princeton is princeton.edu. But you don't have to waste time typing the whole thing, or even most of it. You definitely don't need to type the https:// or the www part if there is one. All you need is the main part, the domain name. And if you watch the address bar instead of the keyboard as you type, you'll see that your browser will automatically suggest sites that match. So if I just type the letter G, the browser fills in Google and also suggests some other likely options based both on your own browsing history and popular web results. All I have to do is select the one I want, and I'm there. So if I know where I want to go, I can just type in the address bar. I only need to type the domain name, and if I watch the screen as I type, I don't have to search or even type much at all to find a website instantly. The browser has done a lot of the work for me. That's especially useful in cases where the web address is not what you would expect. For example, if I want to go to the Peloton website to see my workouts, I might assume that I'd find it at peloton.com. But when I go to that address, as you can see, it turns out that peloton.com is the website of a completely different company. Typing the word Peloton into the browser address bar, though, pulls up a list of possibilities which will often include the correct website and a bunch of other search terms to help me find it if it doesn't. As you can see, the correct site is onepeloton.com. Tip 6. Leap back and forth. We've talked about finding websites by searching and by using search suggestions, but often we're returning to sites we have seen before. Unless you specifically change it, your web browser keeps track of every website and every web page you visit. That might feel a little bit creepy, but it's also very useful when you want to return to a place you've already been. So tips 6 and 7 are about how to use that tracking to your advantage. You probably know that as you browse, you can go back and forward through the pages you've seen recently using the back and forward buttons. Rather than going one hop at a time, though, if you hold down the back button instead of just clicking or tapping it, you'll see a list of the pages you visited, and you can click on anything in this list to go directly to that page. Same is true for the forward button. This list, though, is limited to the pages you've opened in the current tab since you opened the browser. If you're trying to get to a page you saw yesterday or last week or in another tab, you may need to access your full history, which is tip 7. Have you ever said to yourself, I know I saw that on a web page, but I don't remember exactly where or when? The wonderful thing about using a web browser, especially as we get older and can't remember anything, is that you don't have to because it's all being remembered for you. You can find your browsing history in any browser, but how you get there depends on what you're using. On a Windows PC or in Chrome anywhere, you'll find history on the browser's menu. Look for the 3 dots on the upper right-hand corner in Chrome or Edge, the stack of bars in Firefox, that's the menu. You can also open your history with a keyboard shortcut. In Windows, that's Control-H, which means hold down the Control key for a moment and tap the H key, that's H for history, once. On an iPhone or an iPad in Safari, look for the little book icon at the top or bottom of the screen. Tap that and then tap the clock symbol to see your history. And finally, if you're using a Mac, on the menu bar at the top of the screen, click History. You also have the option to use a keyboard shortcut on a Mac, which is Command-Y. Hold the Command key, tap Y for the end of history. Let's take a look at our full history on this Mac. Sites and pages are listed in order by when you visited them, so the list can be very long. But the good news is that it's both grouped by date and searchable. So if you don't remember the name of the site, but you know you were looking at it last Tuesday, you can look at the 4 sites from last Tuesday by clicking here. And if you remember the name, but not the date, you can search for it in the search box up here. And finally, tip 8, save the key sites. The safest way to get to a website is using a bookmark or favorite. Bookmarks and favorites, roughly speaking, are 2 different names for the same thing, shortcuts you create to sites you visit frequently so that you can get back to them with a single click. Whether they're called bookmarks or favorites depends on which web browser you use. We strongly encourage clients to set up bookmarks or favorites for sites they visit all the time, especially ones that have sensitive information like financial sites. That way, if you get a scary warning message like this, claiming that there's some problem with your account, instead of using the link in the message that claims to be from your bank, you can go to the site directly from your bookmark, and you know it's the correct site, not a fake lookalike site designed to steal your information. If you don't already have those set up, see the link above or in the description of this video for quick tutorials on how to save sites in your browser. So here's a quick recap of the 4 tips in this video. Number 5, use the suggestions that show up in the address bar as you type. It's a huge time saver. 6, leap back and forth among the pages you visited recently by holding down the back or forward arrows and selecting from the list of pages that shows up. Tip 7, use the full history list to return to all the websites you've ever visited. And 8, save the sites you use most often, especially the sites that have sensitive information like financial sites, as bookmarks or favorites for your own safety and convenience. That's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave comments and questions below. Click like if you found this helpful, and be sure to subscribe for more Computers.mom videos.